hopefully I never have to use it, but any questions so far? Nothing? This is an extension of the first aid kit. I've got the large rolls, and I've got all the pads, the 5x5s, the 4x5s, to do large pads and wadding on there. And in here, along with the rest of the first aid supplies, I've got some protein bars and stuff like that. Those aren't my main food source, but they're just something quick right there on the outside where I don't have to go through the whole pack to get something. I mean, for the most part, if you're out there for 72 hours, God forbid, but if you are, you know, they say it takes, you know, you should have 2,000 calories a day per person, but if you're out there and you're humping with this pack on through any kind of terrain, 2,000 calories is pretty much nothing. So, you know, try and go for some of the high carb type of stuff, high proteins. Baby wipes. You know what? There's nothing that makes you feel better. I mean, I was in Desert Storm. We didn't have showers sometimes for 3-4 weeks. Baby wipes keeps your sanity. You know, it really is truly amazing if you're out there and you're humping for 2-3 days. To be able to just clean yourself, you'll feel like a new person. You really do. Oil wipes. Cleaned out my gun. Just I always keep those in there. Just never know. I might not have my full kit with me, but at least I'll be able to keep it clean, especially if I end up taking a dunk in a river or something. Again, I'm not going to be carrying a rifle if this is just my bug-out bag, and this is just, you know, what I have in my vehicle and I'm just grabbing. If that's the case, then it's just going to be this kit and me and what I usually carry on me. So what I usually carry on me is not my AR-15 or my AK-47, you know. It's usually, if anything, it's a handgun. So, but I want to keep it clean if I have to use it. Okay, in here, I've got probably 4 knives throughout the whole bag. I just got another little, just a folder. Just, she's attached, so it's one that I won't lose in there. If I need it, I have it. I also have like a Leatherman's tool in here, just so you have that, and then just a couple more little lockbacks just to have in here. Poncho, keep a poncho. This is New England. It might be sunny out right now, but it could be pouring in a little while. And the ponchos are nice. A lot of people like the jacket types. I like the poncho type because then it can go right over my whole ruck. And that way there I can keep my bag as dry as possible as well. But again, individual preference, taste. That will get to in a minute. Emergency blankets. I always keep at least 2 in here. One I could use as an emergency blanket. The other one I can use if it's really cold and I have to shelter down, make like a lean-to type of shelter and make my fire in there, and then use this as a reflector to push the heat back to me. That way there I don't have to make a real detailed shelter. For me, I keep 50 rounds of whatever my carry gun is at the time. For me right now that's 45. And I also, whatever my carry gun is at the time, keep some loaded magazines in my bag. Magazines hold 10 rounds, but because this is in my ruck and it might be in here for a while, I only put 8 in the magazine. That way there I'm not putting too much tension on my springs. Never know what kind of situation it's going to be in. I always keep some N95 masks and rubber gloves in my pack, and because this was one of the longest, some Slim Jims can stay in this pocket out here. And again, it's pretty easy to access, so if you're walking on the trail, you know, I'm not going to be out there shooting deer and trying to make some jerky. Use some of the pre-made stuff. here, 100, 150 feet of paracord. Always want to keep your paracord. You never know when you're going to need that. I keep some chlorine dioxide water purification tablets. If I have to start grabbing water out of the stream or whatever, I want to make sure it's purified and clean. And I always keep a bunch of mechanics straps. One of my straps breaks. Need to tie something up. Need to tie some of the trees together to make my shelter, whatever. You can use these for a million different uses. So I always try and keep some of those in here. One of the things I don't have in here that that I would keep in here normally is some marking tape. You just go to like your landscaping places, and the tape that they put around when they put new grass in, you know, just some of that different colored. If you keep that, if your car does break down and you have to hoof it through the woods, you keep some marking tape and you can mark a trail as to where you went. So if rescuers come, they at least know where to follow. And what you try and do is, if you're planning for your family or a group, everybody have a different color, and that way there you'll be able to tell, you know, you start at the first tree when you leave your car, and if you each put a different color on there, then they'll know there's 4 people, 3 people in your party, however many, and then you can continue on with that. And if you split up somehow, then you'd be able to tell where the others went and who it was by the color of their tape. So that's just something else. Toilet paper. I don't know about you, but I'm not comfortable with leaves. Tea candles. I always keep tea candles in here. A couple of tea candles can help you warm up your food, and they can also light up your shelter while you're in there. Little hand crank, solar powered type of flashlight. It's got a siren, it's got a radio. The radios work for crap on these things. You know, they supposedly get NOAA. I can't reach NOAA with this thing. But the reason I like this one and I carry it is because it's a cell phone charger as well. I can crank it up and get 30 minutes of cell phone charge out of it. So hopefully we're not in a situation where it's grid down and you've got no cell phone. Hopefully your cell phone's going to be able to help you through. You might be in a dead spot somewhere, but hopefully by the time you're walking 3 days, you're going to have cell phone coverage somewhere. MREs. I keep 3 MREs in here, 3 days. These are Voodoo Tactical MREs. They're a civilian version MRE, but they have, your typical MRE has about 2,500 calories, let's just say. These have about 4,500. So there's a lot more of these candies and things like that in here. So you can grab and go stuff. You don't have to sit down and enjoy the whole thing as one. And but again, it's preference. Whatever ones you get, you know, if you just get entrees or if you get the whole kit and caboodle. And they're pretty flexible, so they fit nice right in the bottom. You'll notice in my pack, I can strap everything down once it's on the inside of my pack too. And that way they're, you know, if you have a lot of loose stuff in your pack and as you're walking, it's all shaking and jiggling, that just puts added stress onto the different joints and muscles in your body. And believe me, if we had to be out there and we had to ruck, you know, the extra 30 pounds around for a couple of days, I don't care who you are and what kind of shape you're in, unless you do that every day, you're going to feel it. You're going to be so sore at the end of a couple of days. That's what the aspirin's in there for. I also keep LED flashlight, spare batteries. I take my batteries and I camo. I just tape them all together, duct tape them up, and keep those in here. And I keep light sticks. Again, I can use those or the tea lights or whatever to light my way. You can hang them from a tree if you're in a situation where you're out there trying to hopefully getting found by somebody. They can be seen from a long way away. And seeing, I call it a 72-hour kit. You know, one for each night that I'm out there. They're 72-hour, 12-hour light sticks. So you're only going to get one night out of them. So try and keep enough of those in there so that if you need it, you have it. That's pretty much what I keep in my 72-hour kit. There's a million different ways you can do it, and there's no right way, there's no wrong way. It's, you know, trying to rub a soap or something with your dirty hands into your wound to keep, spread the infection. I've also got my EMT scissors in here, and everybody's seen Rambo, right? The guy falls out of the tree and his arm's all bleeding, and he opens up his knife and he pulls out his needle and thread. Well, I don't know about you, but I don't have enough dexterity to thread a needle while I'm bleeding all over the place and to suture myself up. And that's a lot of pain in a long period of time to do that. A stapler, skin stapler. It's a medical skin stapler. Holds 25 staples. They're relatively cheap. They're like $9, and they're quick. So yeah, it's gonna hurt, but it's only gonna hurt for a second as opposed to the needles. And if I'm bleeding in an area where I only have access with one hand, I'd rather just snap them on there and be good to go. I'm not a doctor, but I think I'd rather trust myself with one of these than, and also I've put the staple remover in there.